This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, and insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hello everyone, welcome to show 145, Aussie Mac Zone this week. Garth and I are here. Glenn may pop in if he gets a chance, but Garth, how are you, sir?
Oh, excellent, man. Excellent. Full of vibe and well, actually, I'm really tired from getting up really early this morning. But apart from that, yay!
Doesn't their daylight saving time suck when it
I
makes it
know.
really early, doesn't it?
Yeah. Even if it was just a little bit later,
Yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning instead of 3 or 2, whatever it was.
Yes. So, now, don't forget we are brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au. Australian servers, affordable competitive plan, domain registration, free setup, cPanel, 24/7 ticket support, and really easy to deal with. So, shall we get going, my friend?
Let's go. What have we got? What happened? Has anything happened anyway?
Anything happened? Yes. So we got WWDC 2016. So we got,
Yay!
yeah, we've actually got news. Probably too much.
I know. Too much. Okay. I know. Last time we sort of covered everything.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of people who listen to this probably have got a lot of the news, so we'll try and be pretty quick on the points and make sure we catch everyone up. But just give a few thoughts around the various things that we come across.
That's right. So we had 5,000 attendees, 74 countries, 75% were first timers. They had 350 scholarships this year, and the youngest person was only 9 and female. We got 2 million apps, 130 billion downloads, and 50 billion payments. So the keynote got divided into 4 sections, which was watchOS, tvOS, OS X, and iOS. So watchOS 3. There was some really awesome things coming there. So we got a 7% improvement in speed. Background
7
refresh.
times improvement.
Yes, sorry, 7%. 7 times improvement.
Not 7%. Come on, that's not news. Unless it's Apple stock price, then it would be news.
Yes. Background refresh of apps. You've got Control Center where you just up swipe. We've got a new thing called Scribble coming, which is you write on the watch face to reply to messages, and you can do it in English and Chinese to start off with.
So this is just with that one, right?
Yeah.
That was, I heard different opinions on this, but the way I took that was it was doing basically OCR, writing to text. It's turning it into actual text, isn't it? It's not just that you're drawing the pictures. It's not just sending your pictures of your letters. It's actually converting those letters that you do into text.
No, I thought it was just sending it as like doing a little picture thing, but I can't honestly because it was
so.
Yeah.
My point on that is, if that's the case, you can write in whatever language you like because you're just sending little pictures. What's the difference if you write in French or Spanish or whatever?
Yes, so it must be OCR, mustn't it? Now that you put it.
That's what I would have thought anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, that'll be one of those little things that we need to clarify and
We've got some new watch faces. One is Minnie Mouse, that'll keep the girls happy.
Yeah.
and one based on your activity, being the major part of your watch face. We've got the Reminders app will now be on the watch, and your Find Friends will now be on the watch.
Thank goodness. The Reminders one particularly. Find Friends too, I guess, if you're out and about and you're actually trying to use that. Yeah. The swiping up to Control Center, what does that mean for glances?
They're still there. Wasn't that a tap on the side? Double tap
because you've got your
home button or
tap on the side as your dock.
Yeah.
So your friends button becomes your dock button.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's going to be similar to glances.
It's taking it because they're apps more than glances as well.
So I just don't know what it means for the whole concept of glances on the watch. Well, I guess one of those things. Yeah, another one we need to see.
But yeah, it effectively it's already got the glance launched at the back, hasn't it? So there's none of that loading time that we see the spinning wheel when we go into a glance, for example. You get a little spinning wheel for a couple of seconds because it's actually running in the background. It's already happened. So whether they call it an app now instead of a glance or...
Yeah, and I guess that's pretty much how I use the glances as a dock, really.
Yeah.
In a lot of, it's sort of the way it's used. They're the apps that I actually want to launch, and that's how I do it often, rather than going to the home screen. So I can't wait for that one. Wish they would do a public beta, but they typically don't for the watch, unfortunately.
Yes, they didn't announce a public beta for the watch, but they unless it's part of anyway.
No, they've never done one before, and they didn't say they would this time, so I don't hold up much hope of that.
So that'll be available fall US time. Another couple of interesting ones was having SOS emergency on the watch, so that your health data's there and etc. And you can use it to dial 000 in Australia's case, or was it? Well, they gave an example of Japan, which is 999, and America, which is 911. So it knows where you are, and will dial the correct number for you. That obviously gives you location, and it also dials your contacts in your emergency screen, which we talked about last week on the phone, setting it up properly so that.
Yes.
So it dials those people as well. Yeah.
It's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. How did you launch that? Did it tell them? Did it say how you launched that?
Yeah, they did show it. Was that just hold it down or?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just as long as it's not too easy to do accidentally.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. So then we also had big improvements in the activity app, which was now you've got activity sharing, so you can use it as a competitive way of with your friends.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Actually, I think that was one of the big features missing from activity. And Michael, prepare to be.
I'm just going to say I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah,
so that's what we. Yeah, absolutely. And any listeners out there who do have Apple Watches and want to get in on that, let's do a little Aussie Max Zone fitness group. Hey, how about that?
And they're opening up the third-party data, so third party can access the information. And then also, I thought one of the good ones was the wheelchair user settings. So
yeah, that's pretty cool, hey?
They've done a lot of research and about the way wheelchair people, and I'd never even thought about it, as the different way they use their arms during the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
For moving the chair, that was amazing. So yeah, that's good to see. And
it is. Having, the funny thing there, I thought was, we did, yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, I still haven't stood. Yeah, no, yeah, I still didn't make my stand goal. Yeah. Gee, thanks for that. So we actually have a way around that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and then they have the bit where it doesn't say time to stand if you tell it you're a wheelchair
that's
person.
right.
Yeah, it just says time to wheel.
Yeah. So.
And they've got a breathing app similar to meditation, just to get you to calm down and take a few deep breaths. And
yeah, that was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just give me 1 sec. Hang on, sorry.
Yes, mate. Yeah. You run out of whiskey, did you? No.
Oh, sorry about that. There's children coming and going in the background there.
Did you run out of whiskey? You had to go and get the bottle. Don't worry about filling the glass up, son.
just get the bottle? No.
Yeah.
Run out too quick if I do that.
So that was WatchOS? Anything?
WatchOS 3, I think we covered that nicely. That's can't wait. 7.
Can't wait.
The biggest issue biggest issue with the Apple Watch at this point, from my perspective, is not the UI. The UI, I quite like the UI.
Yeah.
It's the launch speed. So if they can address that, then it's a home run for me personally.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you've got that covered. Then I think you'll be a happy man. And then we've got tvOS. So they're talking there's 130 channels, 6,000 apps. Sling is available from today. You'll be able to have 4 games going at the same time. And there's a game, Sketch Party. So you can draw things on it and try and get everyone to guess what it is. So like charades, but doing drawings. That's a new game coming.
Yep.
There's live tuning, so you can actually see things straight away, and that's available on the iPad also. Single sign-in for networks. So if you were, your YouTube, your Sling, Foxtel, instead of having to stop and enter your name every time you do it, you can get single sign in to work.
That one's excellent, isn't it? Not to have to worry about signing into those apps.
That's right, yeah.
So basically, the way I understood it is, you sign in on iPhone, and anywhere you install that app on your Apple TV or wherever, you're automatically signed in.
Yeah.
The syncing of the credentials, basically, which is
correct.
that's a popular feature. So yeah.
Yeah, they bought dark mode, so if you're using your Apple TV as your home studio and you don't need that big bright white screen.
Yeah.
There's live
Very
play,
cool.
photo kit, home kit, and more game controllers will be able to work with it. So they're opening it up a bit more.
And multi 4 game controllers at a time and things like that too.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. There wasn't anything too huge apart from, I think the main one in there is that single sign in.
Yeah.
Everything else to me was fairly okay, that's cool. just a refinement rather than a major update, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the HomeKit bit that was good to
Yeah,
know. They're
true.
still expanding on that because it has taken a while. So yes.
But it's sort of more just surfacing what's already there, really, isn't it?
And bring it into, as I said, they've brought in 10 new sections. So if you want, instead of having to launch the lights section, you can just click on the lights section and there's everything all together instead of having to go through there and there and there and there and there. But like I say, just bring it all together, surfacing it so you don't have to muck around as much. So we've also got, so that was tvOS, sorry, yes?
Yep.
All right, yep.
Yes.
And now we've got OS X, which is...
I think we find it's not...
They changed it, didn't they? Yes. It's now Mac OS.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's not now Mac OS because it's...
Yes, it is.
Nah, because we...
Mac OS Sierra.
We haven't got to there yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Jumping ahead of me.
Developers could get it today, and it'll be public beta next month, and that's when it'll be Mac OS. So right this minute, it's still OS X, isn't it?
Yes, but we're talking about the new release. We're not talking about what updates we got to OS 10.
Yep.
And that's not. And while we've still got OS 10, we better not call it OS X.
Yes.
We'll have those militant Apple fanboys really getting cross if we call it OS X.
Yes.
Whoops.
True.
OS 10. Come on.
Yeah. So with the advice of Mac OS, so we've got the new one will be Sierra. We've got continuity, iCloud, and I missed the third thing that he talked about.
Siri?
Yeah, was it Siri? It's the third part. Anyway, I know that was in there, but yeah, so we've got auto unlock and universal clipboard, which there was gasps in the audience.
That's a pretty cool feature, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, and I thought that just the reaction was wow. um,
Yeah.
iCloud Drive with 10 billion docs in iCloud.
Well, I didn't get this iCloud Drive bit. Like we've got iCloud Drive there now. We can already use it. What's the difference here? What are we changing? Didn't quite get that. What did you pick up from the iCloud Drive changes?
I think they're opening it up to more services. I think.
Think? Yeah, because well, I mean, I can stick whatever file I like in there at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just iCloud Drive. It's just like Dropbox on my Mac at the moment in a lot of ways.
But
Well,
what
not
about when
not
you
to the
what
same
about when you
degree.
were in say launching it from a web browser? But can you
Yeah,
use?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't quite. I mean, the syncing of desktops, is that so? iPhone, once again, any files that, there's certain apps like, Just Press Record that I have on my watch that use iCloud Drive. And if I make a recording on my watch, it'll show up in my iCloud Drive app on my phone. It goes into iCloud Drive,
Yeah.
and that recording is available on my Mac or my iPhone or my watch or wherever.
Okay.
So I don't quite get how. Well, basically, I just need to learn a little bit more about what the changes are,
Yeah.
because a lot of this functionality seems to be there now. They're just sort of once again surfacing it a little bit more.
Reminding
Or,
us for a start.
yeah, I don't know. I just didn't quite get that. I need to.
Well,
I
they
was
need to push,
probably.
for example, iCloud Drive. If they want to make money out of services, don't they? They want us to put everything there so we get over our limit. So then we buy 20 gig, 100 gig, whatever.
Well, that was one of those things I was hoping for. At least take it from 5 up to 15 or something that's a little bit more. If you want to get people to use it a bit more, give them a little bit more space, for free.
Yeah. So share desktop on all your Macs and your iOS devices, because they're saying people don't really store the stuff they're working on. They chuck on the desktop and then file it later on.
Yeah. Well, I don't typically do that, but you soon would, wouldn't you?
Yeah. True. But I
But what's the desktop on my iPhone?
when you're swiping to the right, is that correct?
I don't know.
Um,
Or is there going to be a desktop app, or is that going to be a folder within the iCloud Drive app? Like, where is the desktop on my iPhone? I don't know. There's there's only so much info they can give about how these features are going to work, I guess, in the
yeah.
yeah.
And another interesting one was your old docs. After you've stopped using them for a little while, it'll actually take it off your Mac and put them up into iCloud, so that you're not using up all your vital hard drive space because your SSDs are nowhere near big as your spinning drives.
Once again, this is where we come to the fact that your Mac has usually got, even if it's the smallest Mac, it's going to have a 128 gig hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
iCloud, you get 5 gig free. So it's a great feature, and I like that feature, but it means that you're going to have to buy that space on iCloud to really take advantage of it.
Well, it'll be only docs, but I doubt it'll be all your apps and stuff. But still, it does.
Well,
and 128 doesn't take long to fill up, unfortunately.
No, but like you say, docs. If it's just your docs, then they're not taking up much space anyway. What are we saving? Yeah, I don't know. So I'm not trying to imagine about it all. I'm just trying to understand it.
Apple Pay will be available online, so you'll see different things that just say pay with Apple Pay, and you click away and you can do that directly.
This is another one I'm not too sure about, because wasn't that part of the original release? They had certain partners where you could use Apple Pay online. Did that just never happen? And now they're relaunching it again, or is there some difference between the original implementation of that and the new one?
I think they're making it easier for developers, and maybe they've updated the security and things, because it was just it wasn't where it didn't say pay with these credit cards or PayPal. It wasn't in the same section as that. It just said pay with Apple Pay. Now that may be just the way they did that display page, so it was bigger and bolder. And
yeah, see, I'm wondering if it's more integrated into Safari itself.
Uh-huh.
But you'd think you'd still need the website, the particular site to embrace it.
Yeah. Or
So
maybe they're doing token sharing or something as opposed to NT.
yeah,
Maybe that's what's involved. So, because that token sharing is only like a couple of lines of data that you can chuck on your pay pages. It's not a, so.
Interesting though, and handy. I mean, I guess a lot of people have already bought into PayPal, and find me that you can't purchase with PayPal already. So for a lot of people, this is a problem that's already solved, I think. But still, it's another nice option.
Yeah, well, I use PayPal. With without being rude, all those little cheap Chinese websites that you buy stuff off, and you might never go back there again. So they're the places you pay for PayPal. Instead of giving
Exactly. That's what I mean. This is yeah, totally. So very cool feature, but to me, it's one that's already been solved. So we'll see how much buy-in they get.
Yeah. And another interesting one was tabs, including third-party apps, so you can have lots of tabs open per application. Even in Maps, for example, you can have tabs.
So we're just changing windows into tabs here. Is this what we're doing?
Gives you the choice, I suppose. Just that's another way of looking at it. Yeah.
That's basically what they're talking about there. Yeah. Instead of having multiple windows of a given app open, you'll have them all in the one window, and just you'll do your window organization via tabs rather than flicking between windows, which is it's a nice new way, another way of doing it, which is good. I'm just understanding again. I don't I don't care one way or another.
An interesting one was the next one, where they've you got picture in picture, which is fine, but it's included in full screen mode. Now, full screen mode is so you can concentrate and not think about the football while you're writing a manuscript or something. So I thought
it seems a bit funny, doesn't it? But handy. I mean, it gives you two apps that you're using your full desktop, I guess,
Yeah.
A little bit better than just maximizing it, I guess, into proper full screen mode with just a little video going in the background.
Yes. And then we got Siri.
And this is the main feature as far as I can tell.
So if you do a search for something and you think, I'm going to search for that a lot, or I'm going to search for that a lot today, for example, you can pin the search into the Siri search box, and you can also drag your search results directly into a document, for example. So if you're doing a keynote and you say look up bamboo gardens, and you find a picture of a bamboo garden, you can drag that across and use that in your keynote. Of course, that you've checked out the legalities of that particular picture.
The Siri would only give you, ones that you're allowed to share, surely. No, that was pretty cool, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just the whole concept of having Siri on the Mac, it's been a while coming, I guess. One, that I personally have hoped for a while.
Yeah.
Even just with the stuff like the finding documents, obviously you can do a search now, but just to go, hey, show me all the files that I worked on last week that were audio files, or whatever.
Yep.
That's a nice feature. How much people will use it, once again, I'm not too sure. I know a lot of people have had Cortana on their Windows machines in Windows 10, and I really don't know how many people actually find themselves using that. I never have. But, when we're already used to using Siri on our phone, we might find that on the Mac, it's something you can do.
Yeah.
But once again, voice search is not something that's always, what's the word? Always something you want to do in the given situation. It's okay when you're in your room, in your man cave, but in a lot of other contexts, you're not going to be talking to your computer.
Yeah, you can just imagine some clowns standing up in an open plan office and saying, "Hey Siri, show me all the porn I've looked at in the last 2 weeks." All these screens
Exactly.
light up.
There you go. Well, it'd have problem. It wouldn't have anything. And so sorry, I can't find anything like that. Mine, I'm afraid.
So, that's all I've got specifically written down for Mac OS.
Mac OS Sierra.
Yeah.
I like the name.
Yep.
There you go.
A nice
Not important.
picture.
There you go. What was the picture?
It was
Is it?
desert, wasn't it? Isn't it
Yeah, well,
like
it's.
nice
I think it's desert.
area, yeah.
Yeah.
I still enjoy the two previous ones with Yosemite and El Capitan. That El Capitan one, I love that on the big screen. Relaxes me a lot. So we've got to, don't forget that we are promoting Aussie Tech Radio at the moment with AussieTechRadio.com and Aussie Tech Security podcast and Aussie Tech Heads podcast. So don't forget, there's like Two Blokes Talking Tech or 1BT or the Den Osdroid podcast.
Osdroid, yeah.
So that's just a couple there that we can tell you to just listen to during the day while you're working away.
Yeah.
It's quite enjoyable.
If you haven't got around to subscribing to various things, or haven't got your podcast sorted out, and you just want to stream something random and different, then jump on there, give it a go.
And it's always a good listen. I've been enjoying
Exactly.
catching up and enjoying it again. So
Very good.
Different stories. So yeah.
And now, where Apple spent most of their time.
So this be iOS X, will it?
iOS X, exactly. It'd be too funny if they actually did put that, they use that nomenclature, wouldn't it? Instead of writing it like, iOS 10, they actually put an X there instead. Just like.
Yes.
Actually, has anyone, where's the Aussie thwebhosting.com site? I'm going to go and register a domain. iOSX dot something, see what I can get.
So it was broken up into 10 sections pretty quickly. So number one was the UI interface, a redesigned lock screen utilizing 3D touch, and raise to wake, so you get to your notifications straight away. So you just lift it up and you can look at your notifications. And this is to get over the problem that a lot of people have where they're touching the home button for too long, and so they're not getting any notifications because they're fed up.
That's what my wife has all the time, and she's like, oh, I miss them, and like, you can just go into notification center. I'm like, no, I've missed them now. That's that.
Nothing important there. So we've got redesigned control center. We swipe to the left to get the camera now, or we swipe to right for widgets. So it's obviously not swipe to right for desktop, which I was thinking about before. And
HomeKit's going to be in there too, isn't it? That's where you're going to see the HomeKit stuff? Or is that in notifications swiping or further?
I think that's in notifications, yeah.
Okay.
Unless they're calling that...
No, it should be control panel. It'd have to be a control panel.
Yeah, so...
Makes more sense.
Interactive notifications too. And from lots of apps as well. They're opening up that whole... which we'll come to in a minute. Yeah.
Yep.
Number 2 was Siri, which they've basically opened it up to developers to get them to get it to do everything that we can do now with the Apple. You can do it in lots of other apps.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's the the first step to catching up to Alexa. Opening up an SDK so that developers can write, can integrate Siri, give Siri freedom to work outside of that initial, the things that Apple have set up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've waited for a while to get that in place. Maybe, longer than we'd like, but hopefully now that they finally have, developers always jump on board with these things. So,
yeah.
Excuse me. So I can't wait for that one. That's one of the big things across the whole event. That's one of the most important announcements, I think.
Yeah. QuickType big improvements in QuickType and working out which way you interact with people.
Yeah, that's cool. It's already pretty cool, actually, isn't it? So, further improvements on that is a good thing.
Yeah. So Photos is using face recognition on the iOS with no privacy concerns. So that's a little dig at Google, I'm expecting. Image recognition, so it sort of knows that these are all holiday snaps as opposed to these are all work snaps sort of thing, just by going on what the background of the picture is. They do 11 billion computations per photo. Yeah. So that's how they work out the sort of photo that it is. They're doing clusters of photos, so locations, people, groups, and they're doing memories. And then this cluster, it auto creates movies from the cluster, so that that's
pretty cool. Hey,
you go away for our long weekend that we just went on, and you can go or press a little button, and you can then choose the length of the little movie. So if you want to share it to someone in messages, you can use the short one, or if you want to show it to your friends at the pub, you can go for the long one, and you can change the mood, for example, which changes the background music and the group of photos it's using, and that there are other choices that they didn't go into, but there were a list across the top of the screen.
Yeah, so it's like the next version of slideshows, basically, isn't it? It seems like. Yeah. So that looks pretty cool. And having all the face recognition stuff built in there is handy. Obviously it's been on the Mac for a while. Yeah.
It is good. So next section was maps. So they've got a new design. It's proactive. You can slide up for suggestions. So you can say, I want food, or drinks near me, or petrol near me. It's dynamic, and you've got pan and zoom, so you can go forward and see what the traffic's like on the bit of road, which is awesome, which you can't do at the moment.
How do they get the real-time stuff on that, I wonder? That's interesting.
Real-time traffic?
To be able to zoom forward on the road, that there must be in limited places, or I don't know if they've just got enough iPhones providing that information.
I think there's enough. Obviously, there's enough iPhones out there to do that. Because as I said, when I was coming back from Melbourne earlier in the year, where it told me that there was an accident ahead and rerouted me. Which, and there was things I tried to do this weekend, looking for traffic, because our long weekend traffic down here is horrendous in a couple of spots. But we're just trying to get that and sort that out. But I will be able to do it next time.
Yes.
While you're on the route, you can do a search for things which you haven't been able to do previously. You've had to stop and change your route, for example.
Yeah, do en route stops. Yeah.
And they're opening up to developers with map extensions, and they gave an example where you can choose where you want to go. You can, as in a movie or something. You can book an Uber ride. You can pay for that using your Apple Pay, and you get ride updates of where the Uber is coming, all from maps. You don't have to go to different apps. It's all there in one app. Yeah,
it's an interesting concept. I'm not sure how that one's going to work out either. But another new interesting way to interact with it. So it's good.
Yeah, and what I found interesting was they had lots of examples where they're actually using the information. So does that mean they've Apple's known for its secrecy, but have they had a lot of developers in, come and have a look, this is what we're going to do, let's start doing something now so we can demonstrate it straight away?
They'd have to. They always do, don't they?
Yeah.
With any new SDK or any of the new major updates to the platform, they've always had a couple of key developers in there to get something ready to go out the door.
And then it makes it easy for even the engineers to explain, well, this is how the way we did it with Uber.
Yep.
While you're talking, coding to coding, this is how we did it here.
Yeah.
You imagine that in your app for your chocolate shop or something. Yeah.
For whatever it is, yeah.
The next big one was music with a ground-up redesign. So not iTunes with a ground-up redesign.
No, I don't. We don't really think we saw it. We never thought we were going to see that, I don't think. Not yet, but the music one was coming for sure.
So and she was a pretty cool lady that was doing the presentation. There were lots of ladies doing the presentation.
Yep.
In this one, so she was up there and got everyone dancing and rocking. So
I heard someone call her that she, her official job title was something wild, wasn't it? Like the world diva of music, something or something like that. Something bizarre like that was her actual job title. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
So we've had the ground up redesign. Lyrics are now included. So just quickly, there they are. There's a For You and there's a Discovery mix. Interesting. Connect is still there and got a mention, and we've now got a browse button so you can browse through the music. Radio. So there's Beats One Explore and what shows are coming up, or genre-based stations. So I think they're really getting into expanding radio.
See, a lot of this seems very similar to what was there. It's just sort of redesigned UI.
Discovery.
The browse, I guess. Yeah. The browse thing is a bit different. I mean, that sort of reintegrating some of the old features we had in terms of, by playlist, by song, by whatever.
Yeah.
Seems like the one thing I liked the sound of was the on-device music on device.
Yeah.
So the tab where you could just see the stuff that, okay, this is the stuff you have locally that, you're not going to be using your data to listen to. It's just, this is the stuff you've actually got on your phone. That's a handy one to have there.
And hopefully that'll stop things getting wiped out too.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Our next one, number 7, was the news app. So we've got 200 publications, 60 million readers, a new layout. We can have subscriptions. We can have breaking news notifications on the lock screen, which I think is pretty important. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I actually like news. I'm liking it more and more. So, it got a bit of a beating when it first came out, I think. People were a little bit down on it, but I actually think it's a decent service.
Well, I think there's more choice now, and as you said, it learns the way you're reading news as well. You don't actually have to subscribe. So it pulled up his Formula One, which is one part that I read as well. So me and Eddie, we're like that. You know that, don't you?
Like that, yeah. Michael, the stuff.
Ferrari team, but that's the
Siemens.
So now my favourite to look forward to, HomeKit. So it'll be on the home screen. So it's obviously going to be one of those ones we can't get rid of, because they didn't actually mention that at all.
I thought they said that you were going to be able to do that. Hide stock, remove stock apps.
Did they say that? I don't remember them saying it.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure now.
Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah, we'll have to check up on that one.
So there's with HomeKit, we'll have scenes, we'll have more Siri interaction, especially now that it's open up to applications. It'll be there'll be Home and Control Center, which is what you were talking about before.
Okay, so it is going to be, that's where it is in your control center. Yeah.
You'll have lock screen interaction, and the one I like is the geofencing. They've put that in there now, so that means it's really, you just pull up in front of your garage door and it'll open because it knows that you're there. So
yeah, that's very good.
I can't get that diameter for geofencing
small enough
to be, yeah, because I actually drive past a main road at the end of our street a bit more than I do come home because I go from one client to another. So I think I'll be driving past and the garage door opens.
Yes. You know, you don't even go near your house. Well,
That's
you
right,
don't go
yeah.
to your house, but you've opened the garage door.
Yeah,
That would not be cool, would it?
so
I
that's
don't.
the
I
challenge.
don't think.
Yeah, people need to be
I
aware
don't think
of that.
Mrs. Michael would be too happy about that.
So yeah, just be aware of that, please, people.
Yes.
So the next one was phone. So we got voicemail transcription, which was pretty cool. The extension to the API for possible phone spam that people are getting, where you get the dodgy numbers.
Yep.
And for example, you ring back and then you realise you're being charged for things. There's a voice over IP API now, so there's a lot more.
Now that is cool. That one I really like. So incoming Skype calls, instead of getting a notification, come in as a phone call. How good is that?
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's and also the whether you're at the office or not, if you've got a Cisco system, for example, you'll be able to get the phone call. Whether you won't have to divert it to your mobile after 3 rings or whatever. It'll just go, this is you.
Yeah.
Or
No, it's all good stuff.
It just means that they can get you when you're at lunch down at the canteen, as opposed to
you being able to get away from them.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a couple of good things there. Interesting about that possible phone spam. So it must be pretty big in China, that little challenge.
Yeah, I don't know how that. Yeah, don't have too much of it here, and I think it's probably more important in the US or somewhere like that, where they actually get paid for incoming. Cost. Having an incoming call costs you on a mobile.
Yeah,
which is just so backwards. But yeah, so you wouldn't want spam to your mobile if you're paying for the call to come into your phone.
Yeah. So there's also now messaging. There's going to be some big changes in messaging, so you can have rich links. Emojis are 3 times bigger when you're in a transcript. You can have emoji suggestions, so you can type out your message and then it'll go through and, if I say I'm very sad that you're not coming, it'll highlight words that it can pick emojis for that.
Yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? There's a lot of stuff going into messages, and they spent quite a lot of the keynote on it.
Yeah.
It's obviously, a really important part of the platform, for them to have spent so much on it. I guess, with WhatsApp and all these other apps that are really sort of dominating that field.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they spent, for me, it's like, I don't know. Messages are fine as they are. I don't really care. But it's obviously something that's important to some people.
Well, I think the way they've integrated it a lot too now, so that you've got like you're typing away and basically you're sending it in any message format. I thought that was unusual, but I suppose when all of China uses basically one sort of message app and it's not yours, you want to get them involved, don't you?
I guess so. Yeah. It's my son was like, oh, that looks so cool, So, it's obviously important to a lot of people.
Yeah, and as I said, they'll never speak words again. It'll just be
they won't spell anything.
The bubble effects, so you can get it to come in big and come in small. You can have it hard or soft. You can have it so you've actually got to wipe it to see what the words are underneath the bubble.
So I didn't quite get that either. Like, what? The invisible ink. Like, I don't. Yeah, is it just so on your notification screen if you have your text showing that these ones won't show until you?
No, it's just so that you can add some fun to it. So that their example was,
okay.
I love you or whatever it was. So you had to wipe it across so that you can get the they don't.
Yeah.
Okay. You can have
scratch and sniff
again. Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. You can have handwritten messages. You can have your heartbeat included in messages now. Didn't we have
Where's
the
it getting
heartbeat?
that from? Because that's on the watch. That was the watch thing.
Yeah, well, I think that maybe it's just tying into that, tying it closer.
Mm.
Um,
Like if you don't have an Apple Watch, where's the heartbeat coming from?
why would you not have an Apple Watch?
Well, that's true, I guess. Yeah.
Just on
silly
that.
me.
There was a comment this week. The first version of the Android watch is not getting any more updates. Just as an example, as we go to WatchOS 3.
Yes.
You can have full screen effects, so even behind it, you can have skyrockets going up. So when you swipe across and it says "I love you," there can be skyrockets going off in the background. So expect some nice messages from me, Garth, from now on.
Okay. I'll watch out for those. Once that public beta hits.
Yeah. And the iMessage apps, you can include payments as well.
Yeah. So what? So this is person-to-person payments. Is this what they're saying?
Yep. Yeah.
Through Apple Pay.
Through your Apple Pay. Yeah.
Oh, just on the Apple Pay. Finally, as I said last week, I think we spoke about it briefly. You said you got to use your Apple Pay a little bit more now that you've got the ANZ one. I finally realised that my local IGA now accepts American Express since they are no longer IGA. There's something else now.
Okay.
And so, Thursday, I forgot that I'd given Monday, I forgot I'd given my wife my credit card over the weekend. And I walk in without my spare card and I had my phone.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah, exactly. And I had no other card, and my credit card wasn't in my phone where it normally was. And go, I don't suppose you accept American Express, do you? And they go, yeah. So double tap, hold the watch up.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, wow, that's so cool. I've never seen that before.
Yep.
And again today, the same thing, and different person at the counter. Oh, wow, that's really cool, So I only get to use it all the time now.
Promoting it well. Good man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that was their 10, but then they said, well, we can't go without mentioning a couple of other things. So I think you wanted to push in. So you'll be able to have notes collaboration now. So you can be
yes, that's really cool.
Notes together.
Yeah.
It's the same as sharing your shopping list, really, isn't it?
It is, but I just can't wait to see how well that works. If that works really well, and how accessible that is, because that could be a really cool feature to have. It's like Google Docs basically, but in notes. So if that works well, then that's really cool.
We've got mail conversation view, live photos.
What's the mail conversation view? Because we've always had, I didn't quite get that one either. You've always had that, really.
Yeah. How can I explain that? You've got me there. I thought it was just so it was more sort of full screen and you can get the information quicker. Or maybe again,
see more lines of each message in the conversation or something, rather than just the top one.
Yeah.
The most unread one, whatever it is. Okay, fair enough.
And split view in Safari and iPad, and it was on a lot of the. They did list a lot of the iPads that goes back to I've got a feeling it was iPad 2, so you can have split view and two Safari sites open at the same time.
Very good. And the other, obviously, I guess you're about to get to the other Safari, the other iPad announcement.
Go on.
Oh, there, the playground. Swift playground.
Yeah, no, I haven't got that far yet. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Keep going then.
They're also pushing end-to-end encryption. All of this stuff's been basically done on device, like the photos and so it's all on device intelligent. No user profile when map searching, for example. So it doesn't know that I'm searching for pubs in my local area as opposed to Chinese restaurants in my local area, etc.
Yep.
Well, it does. Apple does.
But that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Apple don't.
So
yeah.
I won't get. Theoretically, I won't get ads for the Chinese restaurant when I'm trying to find a petrol station.
Or a pub, for that matter. Yeah.
Yeah. The one that they were talking about, which sort of obviously have to look into more, is differential privacy.
Yeah. Obviously, I think it's one of these catchphrases or keywords that they've pulled out, and is obviously, I'm sure it is very important, but it's just sort of something for us to all go, oh, okay, let's look into that. But basically, seems to be saying, yeah, we can do a lot of profiling on device without any data leaking, but yet still getting a lot of the benefit of having the shared data.
Yeah. So that was they pushed great features and privacy. So that was. Then they went, oh, one more thing, and then they just played a video about it all. So.
Yeah, that was a bit. What was the one more thing? So you shouldn't pull that phrase out lightly, I don't think.
No.
That phrase should be pulled out only on very special occasions.
Yeah, especially these days. So that was iOS 10, and now we come to Swift. So there's 100,000 apps using Swift. It's the number one language on GitHub. It's then they introduced something called Swift Playgrounds app for iPad. It'll be available in the fall American time, or spring our time. It'll be free, and it's a new way of teaching coding. So people can sit on their iPad, particularly kids can sit on the iPad, and they say it's the best way to learn to code. And they gave some really examples.
This is awesome. Yeah. I can't wait to play with that myself, to be honest.
Yes, absolutely true. There are quick type suggestions, but it's in code, which you expect.
Yes. Fancy that.
They've got a new coding keyboard layout, so you can just hold your finger on the key, and it gives you coding information as opposed to different letter styles, which you do on an ordinary keyboard. They gave some examples where it had like a made up fun type pet that you wanted to walk along and pick up a bubble, and they showed you how to do that. Then they showed you another example where the same thing had to walk around a square and it was like a game layout already. So you were watching this game and you were basically making it work in the game, showing you the differences and how to make it walk in a square and do it. So it had to, take 3 steps, jump up, get the bubble, turn right, walk 3 steps, jump up, get the bubble, turn right, and do that.
Yes.
And you had to learn how to do that, loop that 4 times so that it knew what to do. They were the examples, but can't wait.
Yeah.
To be absolutely honest.
That's the playground concept has been in Xcode the whole time. Well, with Swift, hasn't it? It was always a part of Swift. But to finally bring that to iPad, it's the beginning of the iPad, I think, becoming that sort of, they always say something along the lines of, it's not a true operating system until you can write apps for it on itself, which you haven't been able to do with any of the iOS stuff previously. You can't actually develop for iOS on iOS. Yeah. And
but it'd be interesting to see how they approach the quote, getting the apps that you write on your iPad without being a developer.
Well, I don't think you're going to be able. You're going to be held within that, within the actual playground itself, aren't you? Yeah. You're not actually. I guess you could copy that. Once you've got it all there, you could just copy the whole lot out and take it over to your Mac and paste it. Put it into Xcode. I'm sure it will sync back to Xcode on your Mac. It'd have to, really, I guess. But anyone can write the app from there, and with Xcode on your Mac, you can load the app straight up onto your phone, can't you?
No,
you don't have to. You don't have to. You can sort of cite. Yeah, but can't you sideload or can't you do some sort of loading there? Like you have to
Not
be developed to have it in the store, but can't you?
no. To the best of my knowledge, everything I've seen so far, which I'm happy to be um,
Mm,
proven wrong about because I don't really want to spend the $145 just yet.
mm.
But yes, maybe they'll come up with some special school deals where it says, if you're a school, we'll let you be a developer, load stuff on each. It's still hard to know how you isolate that per student.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. But if
Well,
you get
I guess
10,000 students doing your Swift playground and 100 turn out to be developers, that's 100 that 50 may have been interested before that, and 50 may have been interested because of the playground situation. So,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
and be interesting to see how Australia pick up on that
Mm,
education bandwagon.
yeah, yeah. For those schools who are using Apple devices, I guess it'll be yeah.
But for example,
Um,
the school that I'm responsible for at the moment have very few iPads.
mm.
So,
Do you think this will be a prompt for some schools to embrace them more, or?
um, I don't know because I don't think my school currently has plans to. So I think they're
Mm,
still going for computers because the dollar value compared to
yes,
say the iPad Pro for
yeah,
what it specifically can do for the school.
yeah, definitely.
And again, it still comes
It
down to
makes more
apps as well,
sense.
doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh well, it's very interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, even if they have one or two classrooms where they give them out just to do the coding and then give them back.
Mm. Well, it's more of a learning thing, they do the actual coding on the computer anyway, on the desktop
Yeah,
or laptop or whatever. Um, this is, the playground on the iPad, having a having a Mac OS machine is still going to be more useful, and you're going to be able to learn there as well, surely.
but yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing with it anyway.
Absolutely, me
It's
too.
yeah,
And that and the screen for Safari, there wasn't a whole lot in this keynote. Well, in this in WWDC keynote for the iPad, was there?
no,
That was about the only things that it mentioned that I can recall.
yeah.
So it'll be
I
interesting to see
think
if
it's
there's more
still
that comes out during the next week or so.
yeah, but also it just shows you realistically how iOS is like the phone and the iPad are getting closer together.
Yeah, well, but by a long, yeah, I'm not sure about that one because a lot of what they were trying to do in prior it was to show how you can do more, more with the iPad than you could on iOS. It's, they're trying to just differentiate the two as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
A lot of what we've seen is Apple trying to differentiate the two, not bring them closer together. You bringing them close together, you're saying, yeah, if you've got a phone already, that'll do. You don't need the iPad. Whereas the messaging is really, that this is a separate device. It is something that, you know, gives you a unique experience, unique abilities that you can't do on your phone. So I know I sort of expected to see a little bit more for the iPad and the iPad Pro,
yeah,
but I guess we got a lot of that in the most recent, in the March event.
yeah,
So
yeah.
um, yeah,
Also,
but no,
just
I'll be interested to see over the next week if we do hear any more about
yeah.
iPad specific versions of iOS.
And things like you think the voice over IP, just going back to voice over IP,
Mm.
do you think some of that is because they're also expanding on their Wi-Fi connectivity for phone calls? It's
No, I don't know that those are two related. The Wi-Fi connectivity phone calls is very much a carrier thing, isn't it?
yeah,
It's specific to carrier. It's just about improving the quality of those call types over your traditional GSM network.
mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, well, taking it just from the GSM network to Wi-Fi as well. Whereas the voice over IP, I think, is really just another way of, those incoming notifications for that call type to be presented. It's just presenting the same Skype call, but presenting it to the user as an incoming call, rather than as just a push notification as it would have been previously. Okay. So two quite different things, I think. All right. I don't know. So but I liked it. I liked the voice over IP thing. It's very cool to have them presented and be treated in that way to the user. Yeah. Because I know, I always miss Skype calls because they don't come in properly. They come in as a notification. You ignore it, whatever. Yeah. But to have it come in as a full blown phone call, basically, you won't ignore it as easily.
Dear, I didn't get that.
No, that's right. Yeah.
So that was 2 hours of fun this morning for us.
It was. And as I was talking to you before the show started, I need to go back and listen to it again without all the, inane commentary that I heard from the various streams that I was listening to. Just hear the raw, uncut thing.
So, and the other thing is I'd like to listen to it again because when you're typing it, you're sort of trying to catch everything that's going on, and
that's it. The presenters
really concentrating on it. Yeah.
No, that's right. And even listening to presenters, they talk over bits of it. Like I've been talking over you all night. Sorry about that. But they talk over little bits here and there, and you don't quite catch it, or they mishear something and they start talking about blah 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 blah. And meanwhile, the actual event has proceeded, and yeah. No, but I can't wait to see some of the reactions. I haven't had a chance yet to see what the reactions are like, and as I said, really get to grips with seeing what was announced in there. And remember, everybody, if you're interested in finding out more, you can always also grab the app for your phone or your TV from Apple and watch the other sessions. There's a particular thing you're interested in. All those sessions that are being held for developers are available to watch if you want to, straight through the WWDC app on your iPhone.
A lot of them are there, yes. Not every single one, but a lot are there, yeah.
Yeah, no, not everything. And even going through that list that was there before and going, this is one secret, this one's secret. And I wonder what those are called now, if they've updated the names of those to see what they were about.
Yeah. There was one fail during the show when they were doing some messaging demonstration, but it just took a bit longer. Maybe because everyone was messaging at the same time.
I think there was another one too where they, they advanced the slide a bit too quick, didn't they?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, and okay, that hadn't actually happened yet. Yes.
But but that's all part of the fun, especially when we set time to 2 hours, bang. Yeah.
Mm. So all I can say is I can't remember who that presenter was, but he'll be glad Steve Jobs wasn't in the background. I think Tim would be a little bit more understanding. Maybe I'm not sure actually, but you wouldn't want
that former presenter you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. If it was Jobs out the back there, you wouldn't be. You'd be shaking in your boots, wouldn't you?
You would. You absolutely would. Yes. So that's it. That was
excellent.
The Worldwide Developers Conference keynote. Now we just got to catch up with the rest of it.
Exactly, and find out what it all meant.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Michael. That was a nice little summary. Yeah.
And it's up on our Facebook webpage. I put 4 posts of each section basically up this morning.
Very good. Cheese, you're all over it, aren't you?
So, don't forget you can go in and join that. And also, please don't forget, if you would like to go to the Steve Jobs movie, to let us know just by sending an email with movie and your suburb, please. So we go from there.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening, and happy Apple times.
Yeah. All of us. Thank you.